Hi guys, this is Uj, and today we're gonna solve a Leetcode question, shuffle the array. It's a pretty interesting question, and we're gonna solve it in time complexity O of n and space complexity O of 1. So basically, you're given an array like x1, x2, and till xn, and then you have y1, y2 till yn, and the number of xn, number of elements from x1 to xn is basically equal to n, and the total size is 2 into n, and number of x's and number of y's are equal. And we're gonna make, so let me just make this array and make it easy for you guys. Okay, so x1, x2, x3, x4, y1, y2, y3, y4. So the result should look like this: x1, and then y1, x2, y2, and then x3, y3, and then x4, y4. So if this is index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So basically you can see the element x is now present over here, element x2 is present over here, x4 is present over here. So you can see if your element and if your an x3 is present over here, okay, if you see your x's, number of x's are before n, and they always shift to the new index, which is twice the original index. Like this is over here at index 6, and 3 into 2 is 6, uh, 2 into 2 is 4, and that's why you have it over here, and this is at index 4, and 1 should be present at index 2. The element at index 1 should be present at index 2, that's over here, and this is index 2, and 0 into 2 is basically at index 0. So that is a way of it. And if we see all the y's, let's solve it for y's, and let me solve it for y. So x1, x2, x3, x4, y1, y2, y3, y4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So basically a y is going to come over here, and this is going to come over here, right? So all the y, if all the y's are basically going to go to a new index, and that's going to be 2 into I minus n plus 1. So how do I know this? You can just know this by observing it, but let's just try to calculate if it works. You can find this by observing it, and so if we try to calculate it, it's gonna be let's say 4 minus 4 if you're doing for y1, and it's at index 4. 4 minus 4 into 2 plus 1, and that's going to be 0 into 2 plus 1, so that's going to be 1, right? um, if if we do it for y2, that's at index 5. 5 minus 4 into 2 plus 1, that's gonna be 2 into 1 plus 1, that's gonna be 3, and y2 is at index 3. Okay, uh, so one more way you can think that we can calculate this is basically we know that, like, if your I was less than n, it's going to shift by 2 into I. And if we calculate the index of this from behind, that's going to be like 2 into I minus n. And so that's how you can say we found this plus 1. So that's how you can say one more way we can find it if you cannot calculate by observing it. So let's try to solve the question now. um, so let's say we have numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and then 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and your result would look something like this. That's gonna be 1 comma 5, 2 comma 6, 3 comma 7, 4 comma 8. And so the idea is basically, if I keep pushing elements to their new index, and I keep on doing this, and while pushing the element I mark it visited. And how do I mark it visited? By making it a negative number, because all the numbers are positive. So I know if all the numbers are positive, so if I encounter a negative number, so that basically means that it was visited. Okay, let me show it to you. And let's say I'm at 1. Now 1 should be present at index. Let me put index over here for convenience. 1 should be pushed at index 0, and so I push 1 at index 0 and make it negative, and the element present at index 0 is 1. So then I push it again at index 0, and this is like a while loop that goes on till the time I don't find a negative number. And on the top of the while loop I have a for loop from I equal to 0 till I equal to n, because I need to mark everyone to their new position. And then I see this is negative, so I skip. Then I go over here. 2 has to be pushed at index 2, and then I mark it minus 2 because it has to be a negative number. That means that correct position, it's visited. And then 3 has to be at index 4 because you can see it's over here at index 4. And then I mark it negative 3. And then 5 has to be and there was a 5 over here, and this has to be over here, so I mark it over here negative 5. And 2 again has to be pushed over here, but then there's a negative number, so then I break the while loop. It's like a while loop and I break it. And then I've done this index, I've done this index, and I come over here. It's again a negative number, so then I skip. I come over here, it's a positive number, and 4 has to be pushed at index 6, so I mark it minus 4. 7 has to be pushed at index 5. If you see over here, I mark it negative 7. And 6 has to be pushed at index 3. I mark it minus 6. And then I push 4. Then I come to 4 again, and then I push at index 6, which is over here. But it's a negative number, so then I break the loop and then I come out. And so this is done. This is a negative number. It was minus 3, so it's visited and it's at correct position, so then I skip. I come over here, it's a negative number visited and a correct position, so I skip. And then this is negative and correct position, so I skip. Then 8 has to be pushed at index 7, so I mark it minus 8. And then the 8 present over here again has to be pushed at my index 7, and this is a negative number, so I skip. And at the end we have an array like minus 1, minus 5, minus 2, minus 6, minus 3, minus 7, minus 4, minus 8. All the numbers are negative and they are at the correct position, so I just make them positive, and that'll be a resultant array. And this is how you solve the question. I'll upload the code, and please like, share and subscribe and hit the bell icon. Thank you.